This is not good. So a few days ago, we made a video talking about Anaheim Ducks superstar Trevor Zegras and the idea that he might get offer sheeted by the Buffalo Sabres. We also made another video asking if he was going to get offer sheeted by the Boston Bruins, and it's been a thing that we talk about where star RFA players who at the time of recording these videos do not have contracts could get offer sheeted. Again, I do have to make the disclaimer, if Zegras gets signed to a contract after I finish recording this audio and before this video gets public on YouTube, then that's my bad. Like, I don't really have control over time, so yeah, if he happens to sign, then okay, just ignore this video. But we have some interesting perspectives on Zegras and the situation in Anaheim that have been shared by Andy Strickland on the Cam and Strick podcast. Now, I'm pretty sure most of y'all are familiar with the show, but on the most recent episode, which I will leave a link to in the description, you had yourself Strickland make a few comments that really set off the alarm if you're trying to keep track of this. Just in case you're not aware, though, Cam and Strick is a pretty legit show. Cam Jansen is a former NHL player, and Andy Strickland, has done reporting on the NHL for years, so this is not just a few random nobodies going out there talking about this. Let's go over onto an article as well, talking about the situation. Insider drops shocking news on Zegras' future in Anaheim. Link is going to be in the description to both the audio as well as the article. But the reason we're looking at the article is because there are some quotes from Strickland that are written out in words here, so it's easier for me to screenshot, put it on the screen. This is what Strickland said about the Zegras situation in Anaheim. I said this a long time ago, but Trevor Zegras is not Pat Verbeek's type of player. I don't know if he is in their long-term plans. Now, what exactly does this mean? Pat Verbeek is a very specific kind of NHL player. He was not a flashy, super skilled guy that made his living by pulling off Michigan goals and doing things that Trevor Zegras is capable of doing. Verbeek was more so of a penalty guy enforcer who could also score a boatload of goals. Now, he was a very good player. I'm definitely not discrediting the career that Pat Verbeek had. He was a multi-time 80-point player in the NHL. But the guy played in a different time. And in his NHL career, the guy had almost 2 penalty minutes a game. And he played 1,400 games. This guy was almost at 3,000 penalty minutes in total. So that kind of forms the idea as to what type of value Pat Verbeek looks for on the ice, what type of game that he played, and how that might influence his GM job. The idea is that Trevor Zegras might not be the kind of player that Verbeek would want on his long-term plan. And this would also kind of explain the rumors that Zegras and management are not seeing eye to eye on his potential contract extension, which is causing some rift between the two parties. We made a few videos going over the situation in Anaheim, talking about how Zegras has been lowballed. He's been offered a $4 million contract, even though he is a Michigan-scoring, puck-dangling, 60-point-producing young center in the National Hockey League who can just carry this league on its shoulders when it comes to the marketing. Speaking about this situation more, this is what Strickland says on the podcast. I was talking to somebody close to Zegras, and I think the speculation and the reports are accurate, that he has been offered something in the $3 to $4 million range. If I'm Trevor Zegras and all of a sudden the NHL has put me on this pedestal, they invite me to the All-Star game, they have me participate in the skills competition, I'm one of the most popular names in the league, kids all over the league are wearing my jerseys everywhere, why would I settle and take less than what I think I'm worth and what other players are getting? Trade me. And this is why I feel like this conversation is important, because when it comes to Trevor Zegras, he is one of these bold and outspoken personalities where if the reports came out soon, oh yeah, Zegras is requesting a trade, or oh, he wants to sign an offer sheet, I wouldn't be surprised. Not to say that Zegras is not a team player, not that he is this bad, uncommitted guy that doesn't care about Anaheim or whatever, but this is a player who is smart. And you could tell, based off of the way he talks about stuff, how he interviews with the media, this guy's got a good head on his shoulders. And if he feels that there is some sort of injustice going on with the way he is being negotiated with, he's not being respected in the ways that he feels he deserves, his agent is not getting the right type of discourse going, then okay, it's totally up to him to request a trade. It's just, in this situation, it would be so crazy because how often do you see guys who are this young actually force their hand in terms of what they want. We had seen the William Nylanders, who have gone out there and dragged out contract negotiations into the middle of the season. We have seen guys like Adam Fox, who were superstars on the college level, not sign with their teams because they wanted to only go to the Rangers. This is a different situation, where Zegras has been shown the limelight, where he has been good, but where his team is absolutely lowballing him, in a way that even supersedes the Nylander lowballing back in 20-whatever it was that thing happened. The idea here that Pat Verbeek just does not feel that Zegras is the type of guy that he wants on his team is crazy. Maybe there's this sort of idea that says, okay, well, we've got Mason McTavish, we've got Leo Carlsson, if we've got 2 top-caliber centers on our team, why do we need Zegras? If that's the case, well, why don't move him to the wing? Why not take advantage of a 60-point guy that markets your team like crazy, that markets the league like crazy, that scores highlight reel goals, and who makes your team better? Why don't you just give that guy what he's worth? I mean, Alex Killorn is making so much money, and you're underpaying Trevor Zegras in comparison to that guy. Alex Killorn got $6 million? Really? And you're not even willing to go past 4.5 for Zegras? There is something going on here that I think we have not uncovered yet. And if this Strickland report absolutely is true, like, oh yeah, Verbeek doesn't like Zegras, he doesn't want Zegras on his team long term, then that might just be it. This might be the turning point, and this might be what causes a big shift in the National Hockey League, where all of a sudden a young player who is very good, very talented, and who is only 21 years old can go out there and say, yeah, I'm on the market. I'm feeling unjustified in the ways I'm being negotiated with, and it's not going to work here. Nothing against Disneyland, nothing against Anaheim, nothing against the building, the situation, or the players, but it's just the management. This negotiation is not going where I want it to. Again, if this video goes up and Zegras already has a contract by the time everything is said and done, and by the time this video is public on YouTube, then hey, I apologize, but every new report we are hearing about the situation just gets worse and worse. That, hey, this guy is not being negotiated with properly, that now he may be in a position to request a trade and actually be in the right to do so. I mean, if it's some random guy who is an AHL caliber player, who's on his ELC and who hadn't proved anything, wanting a contract demand that is outside of his range, then okay, that's a different situation. But Trevor Zegras has proven that he is one of the most marketable players in the league, one of the best young guys in the league, and somebody who, if he grows on this pace, could very well become a 70, 80-point player in his prime, maybe even with more Michigan goals in his back pocket than anybody else in the history of the game. This is a very good player who is not being treated like a very good player. So I'm very interested in seeing where this goes, if Zegras does eventually request a trade, or if he goes out there and just bites the bullet, signs a short-term bridge deal, let's say 3 years, $3.5 million a season. If that's the case, if he ends up biting the bullet and taking a smaller salary, then this guy would have been severely undermining his own product and saying that, yeah, okay, I'll just take a cheaper deal, why not? And that doesn't feel right. Based off of what we have seen out of Zegras, based off of the interviews, based off of his personality, it doesn't seem like something that he would be willing to do, to take less on himself and not get the best situation possible. Not because this guy's a brat, not because this guy is tough to deal with, but because he's a really good hockey player who knows how good he is and is probably going to take advantage of the best situation that is available to him. This is not a selfish move. This is a guy standing up for his own rights. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. How do you feel about this entire Zegras situation? I hope to goodness that there isn't a contract signed before this video goes up, because I'm going to look like the ultimate fool here. But Trevor Zegras might be in a position to ask for a trade. He's being severely lowballed. Apparently Pat Verbeek might not want him on his team long term. This has gotten crazy. Thoughts in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.